Matthew, Mark, and Luke are called the synoptic gospels because they come from a common source. They have very similar structures and stories and patterns. John's gospel is markedly different. So the other three gospels explore Jesus' baptism, Jesus' birth, Jesus' conception. John goes all the way back to the beginning of the beginning when he says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Reminiscent of Genesis, because at the beginning of Genesis, it says, "In the beginning, God created the world." So we see here that before all time, this eternal Word, the Son of God, was spoken by the Father and now becomes flesh in Jesus Christ. John's Gospel is very mystical. It's very composed of a dense theology. It was written in about the year 100, essentially to a Greek audience, to a Gentile audience. So it's really showing kind of the universal appeal of Christ to all people beyond Judaism, really calling everyone in, and uses Greek philosophy. Logos is the Greek word for word, and so we can call Jesus the divine Logos or the divine Word. It's in John's Gospel that we have the miracle at Cana. It's in John's Gospel that we have the very moving dialogue of Jesus with the woman at the well. Also the powerful dialogue between Jesus and Pontius Pilate. So John's narrative of the Passion is the one always proclaimed on Good Friday because it's the most theologically rich and also the most complex for that reason, but really reveals Jesus as divine. So Mark's Gospel, Jesus' humanity comes through very clearly. John's Gospel, Jesus' divinity comes through very clearly. Four Gospels, all different, yet telling the same story. It's kind of like if you had four witnesses to an accident. It must be challenging for the police because you interview four people who saw the same thing. They're going to have four different stories, right? Because they're standing in a different place. They noticed different things. They overlooked other things. So it is with the Gospels, all divinely inspired, all telling the story of our salvation. Mark, Matthew, Luke, John, in the order that they were written.